Taking my train of thought to an unknown destination, and suddenly I don't know where I am. And like a tremor response, something's happening in my heart. Saving me just in time from a desperate situation, and suddenly I don't know when my dilemma's made us now. Something's happening in my heart.
Welcome. Well, Gino, you don't look any different.
30 years later, what an intro.
It was the silence that only respect can bring.
Yeah, it was stunning, wasn't it?
Absolutely stunning. I was
Zilch. You did very well
It's
with
all right. I just stood there and wondered. It's great to see you.
Great to see you.
I can't believe it's all that time ago. It's strange. We had Bobby Vinton on yesterday.
Oh my goodness.
Well, is it me, or is this sort of, that wasn't sort of 60s music, but I mean, a lot of 60s musicians seem to be making comebacks now. They've gone away and they've had a rest and they've come back.
Well, it's like, you know, your clothes, I'm sure you know, if you put them in the back of the wardrobe, sooner or later they come back into style. You know? It's just a matter of being patient. Even though there appears to have been a silence for me for a long time, I was working in the States a lot because I was living there. But I was keeping a close eye on music in England and sort of just waiting for the right time. And, you know, when the Pet Shop Boys approached me, it just seemed to be the vehicle for me, and I was really delighted about that. Took a lot of the responsibility out of it.
Yeah, that you
I
could do it
believe
with
in making life as easy as possible.
Well, there's this assumption, isn't there? I mean, I was with Bobby yesterday. His wife said to him, "What, all that again?"
Yes,
There's this
that's what I
assumption that
think
you
every
want
time I have to do a show.
Do you want to start it all over again, the career?
Well, I mean, it's doing very well. I just sort of try to take it one day at a time. I'm doing a lot of stuff. Records are being very successful. And I sort of just try to stay as uninvolved as I can. I show up, I do the job, I enjoy it. It doesn't affect me as profoundly as it did. I don't get as crazed about it all. I think probably I'm enjoying it a lot more this time.
Because when you started, I mean, you were the first big woman singer of that period. Now, no, I meant I didn't mean physically. No, honest, I didn't. But now there are, fortunately, lots more women. Do you notice a difference in the way that you're treated now in the business?
I mean, I was always treated fairly well, but underneath it there was an underlying sort of patronising, rather there little girl attitude. It wasn't done to be too slick or I sort of really knew what I was doing and produced a lot of the early records myself, but I didn't dare take credit for that because it just wasn't on. But now women are able to take a lot more credit for what they really do. And yeah, I've been very lucky. I've had a lot of respect, and certainly now from the people I work with, Pet Shop Boys and everything.
What do you think of the music scene now? It must be totally different to what it was in the 60s, presumably.
A lot of it I like a lot better than I did 60s music. I like the technical quality of things much better now. I don't always like everything that's in the charts, but I like the way they sound. I may not necessarily like the song, or there may not even be a song, but there is a sound. I like the sounds of today better than the sounds of the 60s.
About sort of doing this bit and coming back, you had quite a time with the papers in the old days. The media would give you a fairly tough time.
Well, that's because they've just got that attitude of, you know, we made you, now we're bored with you, now we're going to break you. But you just learn, I mean, I just learned over a period of time not to read them anymore, because it doesn't really affect me one way or the other. I find that my feelings can get hurt, especially if it's a personal criticism. I mean, you'd have to be insane not to let that hurt if it's a personal attack on you. But I just sort of said, well, if that's the way things are going to be, I'm just not going to read them, and I find that better. I just sort of, most of the time, they're being nice to me at the moment.
Yeah.
But wait, give it another year and they'll be slitting my throat again.
Is that what sent you over to the States? Because you left here, you went.
Not really. I mean, it certainly was a part of it, but it wasn't the reason. It was that I had such a good run here. And there's only a certain amount. England's a very small country, and at that time music wasn't as international. You know, now with videos you go everywhere. But certainly then it was a great need in me to go to the States. It was being brought up on a diet of Hollywood musicals. I had this thing that if you don't make it in the States, you haven't really made it. Yeah. It's still the same in a way that, you know, the biggest star of all is always a major movie star. You know, it's still a star. So I wanted to just do my bit over there, and I had a lot of fun doing it.
What about that, now that you're back over here? I mean, could you see yourself doing a stage musical, say?
Actually, that's what I originally wanted to do when I was at school. I mean, that was what my dream was. I really wanted to be in a Broadway musical. But I learned fairly soon I didn't have the vocal quality for it. You have to be... now everything's mic'd. But then, I mean, you really had to project to the back of the gallery. And I thought, no, I did get in sort of laryngitis during the rehearsal, let alone be able to go on every night. But yeah, that would really be nice. It would be so nice to play another part, apart from the one I play all the time. You know?
Dusty Springfield in The Sound of Music?
Hardly.
Is
Guys and Dolls, maybe.
Guys and Dolls are the
not, certainly not Sound of Music. Julie Andrews, I'm not.
Any plans for a tour? I mean, you're here today doing the record, but any plans for a tour?
If I have to, next year I've got another album to do first, and then that's good for sort of building more repertoire, There's an awful lot of the past, and I'm grateful for it. I'd like some more of the present, and then I can balance it better.
So you're back in Britain now, you're back to stay?
Yeah, I live just about to move to Ascot, which is in East
Ascot?
Yes,
I used to live in Sunningdale.
Did you indeed?
I did indeed.
Oh, splendid.
Glad to know I moved.
There's a nice Waitrose there.
There's a very nice Well, while we carry on with the domestics, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Dusty Springfield. We're just going to go and do a bit of shopping now.
Oh, you will?
Yes, we are.